Hello, everyone, and welcome to Devis Scottis. Today, we are discussing business ideas. I had to really think about this one because I was like, what could I do that either A, hasn't already been invented, or B, someone hasn't already been talking about it, right? And here's my business pitch. Now, this is a idea for the future because as it stands, I don't think it's feasible to do. Like, theoretically, yes, you could, but like, where would we put these places and whatnot? But maybe I should explain the idea first, right? So, my idea, sorry, I'm looking at myself. It looks like I got a bunch of stuff on my face, but I think that's just my scruff. My idea is what if we had a business thing where it was kind of like I want to say like hotels or like resorts. Resorts is probably a good idea. Specific resorts that are based on various eras of like US past. Like, so what do I mean by that, right? So imagine you could go stay at a resort that is called the 80s. And in the 80s resort, you have 80s music playing over like different radios and stuff, 80s culture, 80s designs, 80s just atmosphere, 80s TV playing on your TV sets, only 80s technology in that time period, in that whole resort. It'd be like a resort you'd go if you wanted to get the feeling of what it was like to live in the 80s, essentially. And basically, you wouldn't have stuff that was like, oh, that's more of a 70s design. That wouldn't be there. And obviously, you wouldn't have any technology that came out after the 80s at that resort. It would just be an 80s kind of thing. And I was thinking, what if we had just like an 80s one, a 90s one, 70s, maybe the 60s? I don't know about the 60s because when you get too far back, you can start getting some bad stuff, right? So maybe you get a little bit of like, because you want to stay true to the experience as well, right? So you have 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and then maybe 2000s, and they're just like these big huge resorts where it's almost like a neighborhood of sorts, but like just a little small town, and it's all specifically that era. And here's the thing, you could stay there for a good while, really get the feel of, I like this. Maybe you live there your whole life. Maybe you're like, you know what, I like the 80s, I'm going to stay in the 80s. Or maybe you're like, you know what, I really like the 80s. I think after 20 years, it's about time to see what happens in the 90s. And then you progress to the 90s or something like that. Or maybe towards the you spend 50 or 60 years of your life in the 80s and you're like, you know what? This was great. I really enjoyed being in the 80s. But for the next few years, I'm going to try to like cycle up to the current day and just really get a feel for like what the world is now and see all the different changes and stuff. Like, it would just be such a crazy experience, and I think that there's a business idea there, because modern day people could be like, "You know what? All this technology fucking sucks. I'll pay to go live in the 80s where I don't have to deal with all this stuff." Now, granted, you're not in the actual 80s. I need to be clear about that. This is a neighborhood that's supposed to just capture the feel of the 80s. Now, how are you gonna make sure that people, don't bring in stuff that they're not supposed to and stuff like that? I don't know. I think maybe you try to like have scanners or some shit and security guards that keep an eye out for them. I don't know, but I think that it's a really good idea for a fun little business idea. So that's the business idea that I'm pitching here today. And yeah, I think it's a good one.
Hello everyone, welcome to Devis Scottis, and today I have a business idea that will change your life forever. And I just want you to follow along with me, and if you want to invest, you can, because this will make you a millionaire in no time. You will be so rich that you'll be thinking, oh my goodness, this is why I watched Devis Scottis. It's finally time that you benefit from being a viewer. So let me do my pitch. So I want you to imagine that you are going to a wedding, or another event, a funeral, or someone's birthday, and you are just so tired of going to these events alone, what if I offered my services as your date? So I show up and I am just I don't really know who's wrapped around who, but someone is rapping. That is all the things that we will decide. Again, this is a great idea because I will show up and I will be whatever you need me to be. I could be the perfect boyfriend to perhaps make someone at the wedding jealous, or you want to do something, or maybe you want me to be a complete arsehole and make people be like, oh my goodness, this guy is terrible, and have someone swoop in, someone that you've been trying to attract for quite some time, and then they'll come in and be the hero. Maybe you just want someone to be there so you have someone to dance with. I'm a great dancer. I mean, I don't do coordinated dances. I will not do any of the like to the left. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing any of that. But if you want me to just do my normal Scott moves, anything like that, I can do that, and I'll look great, and I'll be into it. Famously, when I go to weddings, I like to dance. Even if I don't know the music, which for most of the songs I don't know any of them, but I will dance because I love to dance. As long as there's still music, I'll keep on dancing. And that's what I'll do. That's what I'll do as your special guest / fake boyfriend / whatever you need me to be. I will do that for you. And I'll be good at it too. I have this wonderful desire to help everyone I see. And you might be thinking, Scott, how expensive is this? I don't want to be spending all this money on a fake boyfriend that will not go anywhere, because believe me, it will not go anywhere. I am offering you a guarantee. No attraction will be made on my end. You might get attracted to me, but it's a no deal, no dice situation. Nothing will transpire. We are not doing that. But what I can promise you, what I can just make you know, is that as far as everyone else is concerned, I am whatever you want me to be. I could be a new boyfriend that you're bringing here, and I'm a bit clumsy, like, oh, I spilt the drink on me, like, oh, whatever. Or I can come in and I can be confident and cocky and like James Bond, I could be like, oh yes, you've fallen for me once again, and believe me, I've fallen for you, Moneypenny. I can do all that. I can do voices, I can do characters, I could be Solid Snake, So you've invited me to this wedding. I suppose I'll come. I could be Hagrid. I could be like, so you've invited me to this wedding, eh? Well, okay then, but only because Harry told me to. I can work on it. I can work on it. I can be whatever you want. And if you're worried that more people know who you are, I can wear disguises. I can even send Coop to go. Coop can do it, and he'll be like, well, I don't have Coop with me, so I can't imitate him. That feels wrong and gross, and I should not do that. But I just think it's a great idea, isn't it? I mean, we all benefit here, and you might be wondering, like, well, Scott, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? You're not being paid for this. That's right! I don't want any money for this. I could use the money. I think everyone could use the money, but I don't need the money for this because I benefit, because all I'm asking for is the exclusive rights to tell this as a story, whether it be just a normal story that I'm telling some of my friends, or maybe I put it in a script, just some of the weird characters that I meet, because I always meet weird characters at the weddings that I go to, like the person that pulled out a sock of Europe. It was a map of Europe, not Europe the country, just in his sock. It was a map of Europe and was pointing to all the countries that he hated. Like, I meet characters like that all the time. I just want the exclusive rights to be able to say that, like, oh, this is a character that I've come up with. That's all I'm asking for, and you just can't have any issues with that. Like, that's all I want from this situation. I may even make this whole I'm your fake boyfriend / husband / mate. I'll even go this far that maybe I'm a toxic ex that sneaks in and causes all the trouble, and is like, how pathetic. You're going out with that guy now. And like, maybe I'll throw this in. outside of weddings, funerals. I mean, I don't know how to do the whole dancing thing at the funeral, but if that's what you want, I'll do it. But I will throw in the fact that if you want to break up with your current partner, I will show up and I will find a way to cause a scene. You know, people get into relationships and they want out. You know, there needs to be an easier way to get out of relationships. So let's sum it all up. I will show up to any wedding, any funeral, any birthday party, anything you need. You don't have to pay me. The only thing I want is the story. I want the story, I want the drama, I want the adventure, I want all that. But the most important part is I'll do anything you want. I mean, it has to be within the realms of like, this is at the event. You know, I know a lot of people like, oh, I want to bang, bang. You don't want to do that to me. And that's not happening. I draw the line there. Like, this has to be in front of an audience. You know, not that I'm not doing that in front of an audience. I'm not doing that. But I will do everything that is expected in that place. And really, if I can just be a character, I would love to be a character. Oh, I'll tell you what. We will do a discount, even though this is completely has no money associated with it. We'll do a discount, and if I can pretend to be Doctor Who, then that's your discount. I mean, I think that'll be great. I'll be like, Donna! I'll be like, oh, where's my silent screwdriver? Yeah, I'll be like, there's a Slovene! I've got to get them. I'll be back. And just imagine all the excitement. Everyone wants an exciting wedding. And let me throw this in as well. Let's say you were the bride or you were the groom and you're like, we just want a little bit of drama. You've seen all the films, there's that drama, there's that person that's causing a scene. Think of the Sherlock wedding episode. And Sherlock's like, I've got a mystery. And I could do that. I could be that. I could even be the criminal. And then, you know, it's this whole thing that adds to the drama, adds to the flair, gives everyone a great time. So this is my business idea. I think it's a really great idea, and I can hear the pounds rolling in. Everyone's spending their money on this idea, and you should too. So call the number that is not on the screen because I don't have a number like that. But call it. Do the things, and remember, when you hear wedding bells, you've heard a wedding happen. But also I do funerals and birthdays and anything else. So, yeah! Call it!